This video we're going to show lime plastering, base coat. We're also going to show hairing the mix up. If you missed the last video where we were actually mixing the base coat lime plaster, there's a link here to go watch it, and I'll put one down in the description. So now we've got his mix out in the bath. Want to start hairing it. We're using a goat hairing here. We buy them pre-bundled, just like this, probably about just over an inch long on the strands. And basically all we do is just pull the hairs out and let them drop into the bath and try and spread them out lightly. There is a technique to this. Some people just pull them off, but what I like to do is that kind of motion. So you're pulling the hairs apart, because what we don't want is a big clump going in like that. We need individual hairs going in, and that's the motion that I found gets the hairs split the best. And with this hand, all I'm doing is opening up the hairs, so it's kind of all thumbs. And then when you get good at it, it's that kind of motion. I think you've got to move around as well. What we're looking for is a nice layer on the lime plaster of hair. And what we'll do, once we've got a nice layer of hair on it, we just get the shovel and chop it in. If we'd put that hair in this mixer, it basically just would have tangled round all the paddles, and you'd have had to have put 3 times as much in to do it. So all we do is just chop it in and chop it down to different layers as well. So sometimes I'll go right down to the bottom, other times I'll just go through the surface and do it again. And we'll probably do this maybe 3-4 times before it's actually haired. And then we'll chop it in again for a second time. Chop it in again for the 3rd time. To test this now, to make sure we've got enough hair in it, what we kind of do is just get a trowel and tap it on the side, and all the hairs hang down. And we're looking for about 10 hairs per inch. So this one's not good enough. That's not good enough. And I generally do a few different areas just to see. This is looking better now. See, we've got a lot more hair in this. Generally, if we've got one that's not got enough hair in it, we'll just hair it again, stab it all in, try again, and we'll just keep going until we've got every single sample is a good consistency. You can't really over hair it, but you can under hair it. And what you find is, if there's not enough hair in it, you get a lot more shrinkage cracking going on. So just over hair it. And sometimes what we'll do is we might end up like 20, 30, 40 hairs per inch, really thick. If we're going over something that we know we need some more resistance, more fibre, more strength to it. You see, plenty of hair in it there. So what we're doing is just putting another layer in this. We've got that haired layer we've done. We'll put this in, we'll hair this one, put another mix in now, and then we'll put that in the bath and we'll hair that. So we'll have 3 mixers in here all together and they'll all be haired. We'll move this tub out of the way, get another one, start again. Now you can buy lime plaster already pre-haired, but you need to know when it went in because the alkalinity in the lime will eat away at the hair and make it soft. So a test that we do when we get haired lime plastering, if you get the strand of hair, you can, if you hear it snap when you pull it apart, that tells you it's been recently haired. If it basically just doesn't do anything and just pulls apart, you know it's been in there for quite a while. And you will probably have to add more hair as well. We always find when we get plaster, lime plaster that's pre-haired, we always end up adding more to it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put some base coat on this. It already has had a base coat on it, but we need to build it out to this profile here. So for the instance of this, we'll just do this bit. Lads absolutely flyed on last week, and I was hoping that we'd have a little bit left with the masonry in the background, but we don't, so this is where we're going to be doing it. So generally what we'd do to start with is gauge out on the masonry. So all the low spots in the masonry, we will point up around, really heavily point around the masonry units, and we could be putting 1, 2, 3 coats on. We don't really want to be going over 12 mil, 15 mil on a base coat, or on a gauge coat as we call it. So you have to do it in multiple layers, let it go for a couple of days and repeat until you get to a point where you've got a nice flat surface that we can then apply the base coat plaster to. This has already had a base coat on, but we'll just stick another one on and feather it out to about here somewhere. You don't want to load up your hawk too much because it is heavy gear and it does take the toll after you've been doing it for an hour or so. But basically, just mount it, and then once I've done that, I just give it a little shake like that so it sticks. If you don't give it that shake, it will tend to be less stuck to the board and you won't be able to do that. And when I'm taking off, I won't try and take that bit off. I'll go in about there and then just cut it off. And it's that shake that stops all that coming off and going all over you. So what we want to do is just basically put on a really thin coat, as tight as you can get it. And it needs working into the wall. A lot of plasterers, what they'll do, if they're moving over from gypsum, they'll get some and they'll basically go on and put 10, 15 mil on, all in one hit, and then start leveling it out. That doesn't work because this hasn't keyed into the masonry or your gauging coat below. This, when you try and suck it off, is stuck. We've managed to get all the plaster and aggregate into all these grooves, and if you're on your masonry, it will stick all into the undulations of the masonry, whereas if you just go on one hit, it doesn't stick and you end up just pulling it off. As I'm plastering, I will just check it with my trowel, and as long as it's sticking to the wall and not my trowel, it's a good sign that the lime plaster's stuck well to the backing. So we need to work it in thin coats, thin as you can. And once you've got your thin coat on, you can then just build out. And you see what I'm doing as I'm taking material off, I'm spinning my board round as well. And then when I've done that, I'll spin that round. Keeps it easy. And always to the front. Now this is going to take probably another coat to get it built out to where we need it. And the thing is, don't mess around with it. Once it's on, it's on. Don't try and smooth it out, get rid of all these lines. You'll be there for weeks. So it's done, walk away. One of the biggest problems that I see all over the internet, Facebook and everywhere, when people are putting a base coat on, they will trowel it smooth and they'll leave a trowel finish on it, so the surface of the lime plaster's closed off, and they will get a comb scratcher and comb scratch it. I've done a video on making a lash scratcher. I'll put a link in the description below and you can make one yourself. What you don't want to do is have a scratch comb in there, because you're not going to get the aggregate in there, it's too fine. You need something with a lot wider scratches on it. And also you don't want that closed off surface to the lime plaster. You need it opening up, because it'll dry quicker, and also you'll get a better key with your float coat. So we use these, we call them a grid float. And basically we will leave this is far too early, we'll leave it for maybe half a day, This is a hot mix lime plaster, so we'll leave this a bit longer. And what we'll do is, I've got to be really gentle on it with this, because it is terribly wet. This grid float just rips open the surface of the lime plaster. One, it allows the lime plaster to dry out quicker, but then it also gets a better key for the float coat to adhere to. And that's the kind of texture we're looking for with the grid float finish, where we've got the undulations, we've got the roughness on the surface. And then what we'll do is get the lash scratcher and we'll just put some diamonds in it, which again will allow the next float coat to adhere very well to this base coat. And that's the kind of surface that you're wanting now for your float coat to adhere to. You can see how the lads have done it here and here. So this is perfect now. We'll let this dry up for a few days and then we'll probably put another 2 coats on. But what we're not doing is trying to be too greedy and build up too much. If you can get away with 1 base coat, that's good, but don't be greedy. Just put 2, 3, 4 base coats on. Less is better, because you get less shrinkage, and that shrinkage comes through each layer. And you can see here where the lads have just been knocking back any cracks in this base coat. Luckily it hasn't done too bad. There's little hairline cracks here, and this was put on probably about 5 days ago now, and it's still soft. And you just need to close all these cracks up that you get in the plaster. This is soft enough you can do it with your finger. Problem we've got in this building is that it is a very cold building. There's not a lot of windows in here, so we're actually putting some fans in to blow some air around to circulate it, to get the plaster to dry out. We'll do this for while we're here every day, while we're putting the float coats on as well. We just have the air circulating round. We did wet these walls considerably, because we didn't want the walls sucking all the moisture out of the lime plaster. We wanted the walls to feed the plaster, so we started wetting these down 2-3 days before we started, and that moisture is now in the wall and it's keeping this plaster damp, which is not allowing it to go off too quickly. And again, if you're trying to rush lime plaster, it doesn't work. You've just got to let it do its thing. It is what it is. You can aid it with some fans like we're doing if it's just hanging a little bit too long. But that's it. Next time we'll do the float coat.